Look, there's a high chance you almost skipped this video, or you paused for a second wondering if it's actually worth your time. And now you're thinking about the fact that you're thinking about it. Yeah, that loop. That's exactly what we're talking about, because most people think overthinking is just worrying too much, like it's some bad habit you picked up, something you should just stop doing. But that explanation is way too simple, and honestly kind of wrong, because what's happening inside your mind right now isn't random, it's not broken. It's actually extremely intelligent, just misdirected. Here, that's what I mean. There's a system in your brain called the default mode network, and the moment you stop focusing on something external, it switches on. It starts replaying the past, simulating the future, analyzing conversations, trying to read between the lines of things that already happened. Now, for most people, this system turns on and off, but for overthinkers, it doesn't switch off, it just keeps going. Loud, constant, exhausting, but here's the part nobody tells you. Your brain isn't doing this to annoy you, it's trying to help you, just in the worst possible way. Because there's a difference between thinking and getting stuck in thinking. Psychologists call this rumination, which is basically your mind looping the same thoughts without ever reaching a conclusion. You're not solving anything, you're just replaying it, changing small details, running different versions, but always ending up in the same place. And the scary part, the more you do this, the worse you feel. Studies have shown that rumination doesn't just reflect negative emotion, it actually amplifies it. It locks it in place, like freezing a moment in time and forcing yourself to relive it again and again. And here's the irony. The reason you keep thinking is because a part of you believes that if you just think hard enough, you'll figure it out, you'll fix it, you'll finally feel okay. But you don't. You just stay awake at 2 am running the same mental loop, hoping this time it ends differently. Now here's where it gets deeper, because this didn't start randomly. For a lot of people, overthinking is something you learned, not consciously, but through experience. Maybe you grew up in an environment where things felt unpredictable, where you had to read people carefully, watch their tone, their mood, their reactions, because being wrong had consequences, so your brain adapted. It got really good at predicting, at analyzing, at staying one step ahead. And back then, that was useful. It kept you safe. But now, you're using the same system in situations where you don't need protection. A text message, a facial expression, a slight pause in someone's reply. And suddenly, your brain turns it into a full investigation, because it doesn't know the difference between real danger and imagined meaning. Your body reacts the same way. Stress is stress, even if the threat isn't real anymore. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, especially if your overthinking is focused on people. How they see you, what they think about you. Whether you said the wrong thing, whether you hurt them without realizing. You replay conversations, edit messages 10 times. Try to predict every possible reaction. Not because you're confused, but because you care. A lot. That's actually empathy, just turned all the way up with no off switch. Let me show you something simple. Imagine you need to cancel plans. Most people type a quick message and send it. Done. But you write it, read it, rewrite it, remove a word, add it back, change the tone, second-guess everything. And after 15 minutes, you send something almost identical to what you wrote first. And then you read it again, thinking, did that sound okay? That's not lack of intelligence, that's too much awareness. But here's the part that hurts. You give other people understanding, patience, benefit of the doubt. But you don't give that to yourself. You'll spend 30 minutes reassuring a friend that they're not a burden and then lie awake convincing yourself that you are one. Same brain, different rules. And then there's something even more frustrating. The more you try to stop thinking, the worse it gets. There was an experiment where people were told not to think about a white bear. And guess what happened? That's all they could think about, because suppressing a thought doesn't remove it, it strengthens it, it creates pressure. And eventually it comes back louder. So every time you tell yourself, just stop overthinking, you're actually making it harder, not easier. Now here's something interesting. You probably don't overthink everything. You can make quick decisions about things that don't matter, what to eat, what to watch. But when it comes to things that do matter, you freeze, you analyze, you overprocess. Because overthinking isn't random. It points directly at what you care about. Your relationships, your identity, your future, your fears. Your anxiety is basically a spotlight on what matters to you most. It's just using the worst method possible. And finally, let's talk about why it gets worse at night. Because during the day, you're distracted. Work, people, noise, but when everything gets quiet, your mind gets louder. All the delayed thoughts show up at once, so you stay busy. Not because you want to, but because it's the only way you've learned to manage it. But here's the shift. Understanding this isn't about stopping your thoughts. That's not realistic. The goal isn't silence, it's control. It's being able to notice the spiral without getting pulled into it. To pause and ask, what is this thought trying to protect me from? And more importantly, is that threat even real anymore? Because most of the time it's not. It's just a habit, a very well-trained one. And instead of fighting it, you learn to respond to it differently. You don't need a quiet mind. You need a better relationship with your thoughts. So the next time your brain starts looping, don't panic. Don't fight it. Just recognize it. Because that moment of awareness, that's where control begins. And honestly, that changes everything.